when you fail and God's like, I'm right here? What happens when it looks like this is the worst thing that ever happened and God's like, your boy? This is the God we serve. That at your lowest moment, at the breakup, at the divorce, at the pain, at the mistake, God's like, I'm right here with you. And if I be for you, then who can be against you?
Good evening, Facebookers and YouTube viewers. Welcome to the Virtual Network Mixer. This is the first one for 2021, and I'm so excited to have you guys here. We're going to go ahead and get started with our amazing business owners. First up, we are going to invite to the couch, if you will, Coach P. How are you, sir? Not sure if he can hear me. Hi, how are you? You're still muted, I think. Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, I'm gonna come back to him. All right, let's go with just coaching. Coach, how are you, girl?
Hey, girl.
It's so good to see you. So good to have you.
Thank you.
So go ahead and let's talk. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and what Just Coaching is.
Well, Coach Letitia is a woman of many titles and many pieces. And I basically have chosen to display a little bit of my healing path with others. I've just acknowledged my wounds, and my give back to life and to the universe is to be able to just give people a little glimpse of, how you can make it and how you can get out. And so Just Coaching started with just the hashtag. It really started with the hashtag, and basically Just Coaching is a format of unity for women to feel safe, to feel transparent and vulnerable about their healing path. Some people are on it, some people are not on it, but we're here as a community to allow them to come in, to receive the love and the support that they need in order to tap in. Because for various reasons, many of us tap out, and Just Coaching is here to help you, strategize, acknowledge, understand, really get into a place and a feat of accountability so that you too can get on this path with us. And we're doing it together. And so Just Coaching is community-based. It really is a tribe of women, a tribe of individuals that are really out here just trying to heal and be better.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We're going to try to go back to Coach P. Is you ready for us? Okay. I think he's having some technical difficulties. Okay, there he is. How are you? Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself. Good. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So just a little bit about Don't Blink Motivation. It started off as a fitness journey. It started off as something that I wanted to help others meet their goals fitness-wise. But it geared towards more motivating. So that's why I tapped into the life coaching to tap, or just like my sister said, to help you tap back in. I felt like most people can see themselves where they want to go, where their goals are, but it's hard for them to get there. I wanted to be that resource to help them get there and make their dream become the reality, right? That's mental, that's spiritual, whatever you're looking for. I want this to be your source. So with that, in the nutshell, we provide fitness coaching, we provide life coaching, we provide natural juicing, we even provide apparel so you can look your best. That's just Don't Blink in the nutshell. It's about something when you first see somebody. Often, I said the other day, we buy makeup, we waste so much money on makeup when that's not what we should be focusing on. We should focus to make this up. We should spend more time with doing something with this than this. So I make it easier for you. Come, I'll provide this, and so you can focus on this. That's don't blink.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, like I told you at the launch of with Tish, I didn't know what Don't Blink was. I just knew I loved your apparel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sold in. That's usually how business works, right? You figure out however you get them to you, you get them to you and then you present the whole picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you
Absolutely.
so much. Next we have Miss Jonay. How are you?
I am well. Well, how are you?
Good, good. Go ahead and tell the people who you are and what you do and how amazing you are.
Thank you. Well, I am Janae Coffee, the Queen of Formations, as many people, well, not many people, but specifically one of the beautiful ladies on this line has coined me to be. I specialize in assisting entrepreneurs with, oh gosh, a whole plethora of things. However, I really specialize in LLCs, nonprofits, and corporations for entrepreneurs who don't quite know how to get their paperwork set up. I also assist with compliance and just overall business consulting. So yes, I'm the owner of Coffee and Biz LLC, and I am also the owner of My Admin Works, where we provide executive level assistance to small businesses who are looking to take their business to the next level.
Oh, that's good. Okay, you guys, that is those of you that are watching, it is so much more than that, right? They're giving you, listen, they're giving you their elevator pitch, right? But they are so much more than that, and we will definitely get into that. So, last but not least, we have Miss Day with All Day Self Care. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good. Go ahead and tell the people about yourself and what you do and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Davina, but I go by All Day. And what my mission is to really be the platform for busy women, just to assist them with understanding that self-care is so imperative. Self-care is so important, and self-care is deeper than what we think it is. Along with nutrition, community, health wise, and just understanding that we have to really make sure that we take time for ourselves. Like, we are important. Nothing else is going to matter. Nothing else is going to even exist if we don't take care of ourselves, period. So that's something that I have gained a passion for, along with, when it comes to, I also have a catering company with my husband, Steak It Catering, and we provide meal preps. And, it's a convenience of nutrition, which is really important as well. But just with all of that surrounding itself, I can live and breathe self-care. It's so important. It's so important.
Absolutely.
So that's that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so much more to what you do than what you said. And I'm sure we're going to get into all of that tonight. So not in any particular order. You guys go ahead and tell the people how you got started. How did you start in the business that you are so well functioning in?
I'll go first.
Sure.
Oh boy, it was a journey. I always knew in high school, my high school counselor asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so everybody was giving her these amazing careers. And I told her that I wanted to be the CEO of my own company. That's how it started. And so from there, I just knew I was going to go to college and get my master's degree in business administration. I just knew, I was going to be that awesome, USC graduate with an MBA. And, I said that I was going to get married at 25, have kids by 28. I just had my whole life mapped out. And then God was like, nah, sis. And so once that happened, preacher's kid walking down the aisle, 7 months pregnant, had a little shotgun wedding real quick, 22 years old. By the age of 25, I had 3 children. By the age of 29, I was going through a divorce, working at UCLA in California. Amazing job, right? You would have thought that, I would have stayed there. But the way that I got started was that I had a passion for administration. I had the gift of administration, and that was something that I identified very early on. I would do admin stuff for my dad's church, and then his colleagues, his church friends, would start asking me to do things too. And in 2010, I worked at LegalZoom, which a lot of you are familiar with, and so I learned all about business formation, and from there it just kind of started shooting off, right? So in 2015, one of my good friends asked, while I was on disability from UCLA, she asked if I would work her summer camp because I was really good with admin. And so I was like, sure, let's do it. My kids can go to summer camp for free because I got 3 of them right now. Yeah, let's go on and get that in there. So I ran her summer camp and just started doing her email marketing and started learning all of these new systems that I was really, really good at. And then she started asking me, well, can I switch my LLC to a nonprofit? I'm like, oh yeah, girl, you could do this and you could do that. And there went the whole journey of me actually doing business formation. And I would literally be on the phone calling Secretary of State, IRS. I would sit on the phone for hours. I would read. And I took a lot of college courses. I have a lot of college courses under my belt. I don't have a degree, but, as I was sharing with you earlier, Victoria, God qualifies us, right? And so it's like I had to just walk right into what he had already qualified me for. And there lies Coffee and Biz in my admin works.
Love it.
And she ain't no joke.
Yeah. How amazing is that? Most people feel like you said something that I really want to kind of go back to. You said that you can turn your LLC into a nonprofit.
It would be a conversion.
Okay.
It would be a conversion. There's steps to that. There's levels to all of it. But the main thing is, just also not teaching entrepreneurs how to form a business, but how to maintain it. That's the main thing. So that's a passion of mine. But yeah, that's the way I definitely got started. And I always encourage people to do the same. We just walk in what God has qualified you for.
Right.
Who's up next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So, my passion with self-care came during COVID. Pre-COVID, I worked my butt off. And I didn't realize until, I've told a few friends this same story. When the world stood still, that's when I realized that I really was not loving on myself like I should have been. I thought I was, but I was not. I thought that taking care of everybody else was just as important as taking care of myself. And so I thought I was taking care of myself in lieu of that. And I started realizing through prayer, through meditation, through reading, I started realizing I really was not taking care of me, making sure that I was a priority, which is not selfish at all. And I started realizing what I had to do to transform my whole mindset when it came to just making sure that self-care was a priority. And then I realized that this was something that I had been doing all along, but I just wasn't making it a priority when it came to my fitness, when it came to what I ate, when it came to the village I had around me, loving up on me, right? Making sure that I wasn't allowing myself to get drained, that I wasn't allowing myself to fall ill because I wasn't taking care of myself, period. And that's when I want to say I really started gaining the passion of self-care and just understanding that, we want to make a living. We want to, be successful with our companies. We want to be, make sure our families are good, but none of that matters if we are not putting ourselves through, And so that was when I really just truly said, okay, you know what, Day, it's time for you to start really making sure that you do things that bring you joy. You do things that make your heart smile. You do things that, that make you feel good,
Mhm.
And so and I'm so thankful that I gained that conviction, because it's so easy for me to say no now. Mm, mm, mm. So easy. And it wasn't before. It wasn't before. I got sisters on here to tell you right now, it was not easy for me to say no, and I'm okay. I'm okay if someone does not understand that they don't, I'm okay if someone understands that, okay, they needs to focus on her. So you know what I do? I keep myself around people that understand. Day, I got you. I understand. Yes, do you? Yes, that, you matter. What you got going on to make sure that you are good matters, instead of someone saying, well, I don't know, Day, you sure? No, I have the right village around me. So
Yes.
anyways, I can go on and on, but yeah, so
Well, I'll jump in and I will say that Just Coaching started with a deal that I made with God.
Hmm.
It was definitely me saying, God, if you get me through this, then I will do your will. Now, I had no idea what was on the table. I had no idea that it would mean this type of a format. I'm a natural encourager, and so that's what's been in my heart since I've been a little girl. Like, I'm naturally someone to encourage. I'm naturally someone to uplift. Um, but when I made that deal with God, probably about 8 years ago, and it was definitely just me committing to healing and really understanding the traumas that had affected my life and my decisions, and then Him showing me how to recover, how I could restore everything that I believe was taken away from me, but it was really for my good. And so Just Coaching came from me just being transparent about my journey and about those things that I wanted to heal and that I'm healing, because healing is progression. Healing is progressive. And so we never get to a point where we're just done, because we're in a life cycle and there are certain things that are going to hit our plate. But at the end of the day, Just Coaching came to just naturally restore faith in life. And that's basically what it was. I definitely came here to say, you're not by yourself. My mantra with Just Coaching is no woman gets left behind. And I truly mean that, because I believe that there are pieces of me, there's pieces of Day, there's pieces of Victoria, there's pieces of Janae that we have all left behind. And it is my due diligence, it is my mantle to go back and provide a path and to broaden it, because everybody will heal and they will do things in a different way. And so we're just here again as a community to support that.
Yes.
Well, I'll jump right on in. With Don't Bleed Motivation, when I was in middle school, I started a foundation called I Am the Future Foundation, and I didn't know what that was. What I was just a high school kid with a single parent, knowing that, hey, I need to do SATs, ACTs. How do I get into college? What's the next step for me? And knowing that there were so many kids behind me that came from the same type of background, first to go to college, first to graduate, like those types of things. And I'm a natural leader. So me just coming with that, saying, hey, this is what I got to do next. This is what I can do to help somebody else get to where I came from. I ran that as a high school student in student council, Black Student Union president. And then I was like, okay, so the passion kind of died, because I just didn't see this young kid going this far with this. But if I would have known what I knew now, what I knew then, I would have kept pushing that thing forward, because it would have been something explosive. So Don't Blink became birthed, like Day said, inside of COVID, to say, hey, things are getting out of control. How can we help folks get back to a healthy them? Because our eating habits are crazy. The things that we do are just, I just couldn't believe how huge I got, And with me creating that passion, Don't Blink Motivation came from, are you going to be the person cooking the chicken, or are you going to be the person in the boardrooms just distributing where that chicken goes? And I was like, I need to be in the boardroom distributing where that chicken goes, because that's just my passion, right? And with Don't Blink, if you blink, you just might miss it.
Mhm.
I want you to grab a hold to where you see yourself, how you see yourself doing that, mapping those steps out and attacking them. And if I can help push you to get there, I promise you I will. If I got to call Just Coaching, if I got to refer the Coffee and Biz, if I got to refer Steak at LV, I'm a resource. I'm not trying to hold all these things in for me to say, I need this and I need that. No, because I know if I send you to Just Coaching, you're in good hands. I know if I send you over to the Networking Biz, the Guru, Victoria, you're in good hands. She's going to take it from here. And I know that health-wise, if you need some good tasting food that I order every week, I know to send you to Steak at LVL. You know, so I just wanted to become that resource for people, right? Because if I become that resource, I just become that tree where everybody, it's just a life source. I keep giving. And once we keep giving, I promise you the abundance of things that's coming back. And that's what I'm looking for, you know, and that's my passion, that's my hunger, that's my desire. That's where Don't Blink came from, with the juicing, with the clothes, and with the apparel. That's just an added source, because that's just something that's the creative flow, those genes that I feel like the brand needs to be out there, push this forward. So when they see this, they understand that if I blink, I just might miss it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. So with all of that you guys have going on, because it looks like, okay, it started out with this and now it has developed into so many different things. And so to those that are watching, they are listening to you, that all of your business started out of a personal need. It all started out with a passion. So with all of that going on, how do you stay motivated? How do you maintain your businesses? How do you stay current with the trends and what's happening in the world?
A team.
I will say, for the most part, it's the village that I've created before the business. The connections that I have one with each one of you on this call. So it's not, nothing is by chance. This is on purpose. This is in purpose. And so I realized that becoming a coach, I need a coach.
Yeah.
And I need someone to help me stay on track as far as my business. So Janae takes care of that. When it comes to my self-care, with me eating properly and correctly all day and Steak and take care of that. My guy, Pop, that's my little brother. I love him to life. He keeps me suited and booted. My juices come. And then when it all boils down to it, Victoria, who will give you a timeline that is so strategic. And she's low-key the most loving bully I've ever met in my whole life.
That is very well described.
She is a loving bully. But when I tell you, she has helped to ignite and push me into purpose, because she was one of the people that messaged me and said, it's just coaching, but it won't be just coaching. And then my girl Dave, one day she called me, I'm on vacation, and she was like, sis, do you got your LLC? Do you got your branding package? Do you got this? And I was like, I ain't got nothing. I got nothing. But
I got that from Day.
But at the end of the day, those connects were already there. Trina Bell, who is the most amazing guru of all and many, many, many things. She took care of that for me. Janae took care. I mean, I just had a village, and that's what keeps me motivated. Yeah. You guys keep me motivated. The networks that I have, I've allowed myself to become a part of, helps me to stay motivated, because you guys are out there doing big things, and I don't want to disappoint either. And I don't want to let God down. Again, I told you I made a deal with him, so I got to make good on that. So I have a high contract over my head.
Ooh, that's a good description.
I like that.
What did you say to something like, okay, yeah.
I have a high contract. Okay.
Yeah.
Girl.
Just want to drop that and then stop talking.
I mean,
that was a mic drop.
That was good.
But you know what? I feel that about all of us. Like, we can't stop. We cannot stop, because we have placed some goods and services into people's hands that they need. and we can't stop. And so that's the motivation. And we can blink. Like we literally need our eyes wide open because we don't want to miss, because God is really opening up windows and literally doors and pouring out blessings upon us. And he's given us wisdom and knowledge that
Absolutely.
is really I cannot even comprehend sometimes. And so it's about discipleship. Like we are disciples. So
come on, discipleship. Come on.
I'm just saying, like we in the army, y'all. We in the army.
Yes.
And I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to piggyback. If I can't tell you that I have a team of people outside of the core group of people that I can call and say, hey, I'm having a day, help me, pick me up. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a team of people that are really in it beyond just you.
Yeah.
They got to know you better than you, and they got to help push you further than what you ever thought you were going to go. Back in the day, you can go to the bank and have the bank, right? You could draft a loan business plan. The bank can say, here's some money, have a good day. Just start interesting our money back. You can't do that right now. Okay. So if the bank can invest in you, you need to have people around you that are just going to invest in you to push you forward. Period. And I think that's what my camp is about. That's what they do. When I close my eyes and people are going on don'tblink.com and order merchandise, stuff is being shipped out. I don't have to have all hands in because you have a trusted team that can push your brand, push the narrative, push what your vision forward. And that's what it's all about. And I think that's the one key point that people are missing is they feel like they have to do it all themselves when you don't. And sometimes it's hard to trust people. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes it's hard to bring somebody on the team. You got to fill them out. But that TD Jake said it best. When you talk to somebody, you're always interviewing. You're always interviewing people around you. I don't care what you guys are interviewing me to see if we're always interviewing somebody because we have to know who am I dealing with and how can you help me in the future. So I just feel like the team is what helps keep us going.
Definitely always cultivating relationships, and definitely I want to does anybody else want to chime in on how you've been maintaining your businesses?
I will chime in.
Okay.
I want to say it is all village. I speaking for myself, 2020 just really showed out when it came to a community, when it came to a village, when it came to showing me who was really for me and my brand. And, me and my husband, because we have stake it also. Having a powerful village that goes hard for you is everything, but they're only going to go hard for you if they know the real you, period.
Yes.
And they're only going to go hard for you if they understand your mission is going to help other people. That's it. That's it. And I was thanking God the other day, and I was telling my husband, I said, do you not understand the type of community, the type of camaraderie that we have been blessed with? That if I am silent, they would be like, "Day, you good?" That is everything. But it's vice versa, right? It's vice versa. And it's all about alignment. And I just really think that is what has really allowed the blessings to thrive. Is all about community, but the right community. Because I don't need to be I ain't trying to be in every community. The right community. That's it. Just the right community. That's it. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm in my car.
No, we get it.
You know what? It's something that you all just said that I had to learn. And again, that was community, but also knowing when to ask for help and also being able to identify when I needed help. One thing about myself is I'm a self-starter. I'm a go-getter. And after having to do so many things by yourself, you kind of just do it. You get it done. But that's not always the best culture, right? That's not always a good thing to do. But when you're learning how to survive, and when you're pushing, and when you're pushing in survival mode instead of thinking about how do I thrive, because there's a difference between surviving and thriving, right? Yeah. So when you're constantly like, oh, I gotta survive, I gotta get this done, always a hustle, and it's always a heartache that comes along with it. So for me, I really had to learn just these past couple of years how to really tap into the right village. And that's been such a blessing for me, even since I've moved here 4 years ago to Nevada, is really being able to tap into the right people, people that are not draining, like Day always talks about, that are not depleting you and leaving you high and dry, people that are really actually for you. And one thing that Day also said that I love, and again, that I've had to really do, was to start showing up for myself and to start just showing up as me, you know, the authentic me. No matter who didn't like it, no matter who had something to say, just being unapologetic about who I am, who God's created me to be. And the other thing that I really just had to learn in business was just how to give God everything. Everything. I will tell you that in 2019, I was depressed. And I've been in business since 2015, but I was still working a full-time job. I was still, you know, raising, and I'm a mom of 4. So, you know, you dealing with babies, and it's just, it's a whole lot that comes with life. However, I was running this business on the side, but it was starting to pick up. And it was something that I was praying for. But what I realized when we're talking about maintaining a business is that I didn't have the bandwidth to maintain what I was praying for. I hadn't even prepared for what I was praying for. And so as it started coming, I had to run and try to, you know, hurry up and build what I should have built a long time ago. So there was a frustration that has come with this building of a business. There has been a lot of nights where I have cried, where I've wanted to give up, where I was like, okay. And again, doing all of this in silence because I didn't know how to tap into my village.
Right.
So there are so many people who they say, you know, like, oh yeah, I got a good group of friends, but are we using them? Like, are we? Because I promise you, I was not.
Come on.
I didn't call none of y'all. I remember. Oh gosh, y'all, when you have authentic people in your life, don't take it for granted.
Yes.
I've dealt with depression and anxiety, and I can say it so easily now because I've dealt with it, right?
Yeah.
And I understand my triggers. But one thing that I do when I'm really in a deep depression and full of anxiety is I isolate real bad. To the point that I am like alone, and I really let the enemy back me up against the wall. And it's all here, right? Like everything, you can't have a thriving business if your mind ain't right.
That's
Help
right.
the people.
You
Help
cannot.
the people.
You will fold because this is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart at all. And so I was in a depression and I began to isolate, and I was doing it often. And sometimes you guys would probably even see it on social media. I'd be like in there, what up, y'all? Post it, and then I'll pull back when things became too overwhelming, right? And they're like, okay, she just got ghosts. Like, girl, where are you? And one day, Davina had sent me a text message, and she didn't even know that it was so on point, so prophetic, so it was just all Jesus, right? She was being used, and it blessed me to the point that it pulled me up out of the isolation. It was a quick voice message. It pulled me out of the isolation because I had to remind myself that I was being thought of, that God had me on his mind, and he placed me on other people's mind. And then he wanted me to let me know, like, you got to come out of this because you're about to fold. So for me, it has been prayer. It has been having to be real with myself and have very hard discussions with myself. It has been me planning and writing things down and sacrificing a whole lot to get to this point. And I'm not even nearly where I want to be. But if I can just, to answer that question, for me, it was not always village. It was prayer and then being real with myself so that I can get the healing that I needed to push forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was good.
Listen, you know, many people want to go into entrepreneurship into business for themselves in efforts to maintain some type of financial or requirement. But what I've found to be the the meat of it all is if you don't know who you are with service-based businesses, you can't you're going to be lost. Like you said, it will the process will eat you alive. Like you won't, you wake up one morning and what's happening, what's going on, the up and down of the business itself is trying, so that was so good. The maintenance is being connected to the source. And who is your source? What is your source? Right?
Who's your source?
This is good. This is really good. There's so much I want to say, but we're gonna get to all of the information so people can really get a really good handle on who you are. So what is the importance of a brand? Or what is your brand? What is a brand in your opinion? And what's the importance of it?
I would say, Victoria, it is representation.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be based on integrity. For some people, it's a banner, it's a logo, it might be apparel, but it's more or less integrity.
Yeah.
It's all about integrity. It's filled with purpose, and you definitely have to know exactly what you want to do. One of the things that I was telling my husband, I was out somewhere, because all of my life, I have been Santasha's sister. That's Billy's little sister. That's Brenda's daughter. That's Billy's daughter. Like I was a no-name type of a person. Now, my association to people was a connection to my family, but I really had no identity. So branding brings about identity.
Yes.
It brings about who you are, and it represents you just like you represent you. And so one of the things that I find to be most amazing is that whether it's a color scheme or something profound, I hear most people will reflect back and say, well, that sounds like just coaching. So with that being said, again, there's a high charge on our lives when we decide to brand, when we decide to market, when we decide to put ourselves out there, because you can't just be out here doing something willy-nilly. It can't be a trend. So branding is not a trend. It is a contract. It is authority. It is discipline. So that's what I think about when I think about being branded.
I just
Okay,
gotta listen.
What did you say?
When you follow piggyback off of this, I say plus what she said.
Right.
I say ditto.
I think I
There you go.
often think that people, like when they look at Don't Blink or they look at any of our businesses, I say like someone's gonna see this before they see me.
Yeah.
Because I really feel like if I was on the website, this is gonna speak for me before I speak for it. So I think like I go for quality, right? When I go shopping. So when I put this on, I'm like, I would wear this every day because of the quality. When I shop for my food, I would cook for me because of the quality. But when I found steak at LV, I'm gonna because of the quality, the taste. You get what I'm saying? So I think when I think of this brand, it's gonna meet you before I do, okay? And then when you talk about my juices, I want you to taste that you're getting organic fruits and vegetables. I want you to taste that, the freshness of it, because those of you who understand the quality, when you taste it, like, oh my God, where did this come from? You got what I'm saying? So for me, it's the quality over this shirt means nothing to me. But when you put it on and then you run with it and you run with the vision and you set it up, that's what it means. You don't have to buy no shirts for me. I just want you to attach yourself to this vision, this Don't Blink thing. Because I don't need you to purchase it. I just want you to catch this.
Yeah.
Listen. Y'all, I'm trying to contain myself over here because if branding was a person, it would be each of you, right? Like listen, we can go all the way back to just the orchestrating and the construction of Day's logo alone.
Right.
Listen. And we've already had Dominique on a live, right? But if we can just talk about that part of it, branding is so important. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll let you guys go.
Even Coffee and Bid, that logo, I just be like,
put some boy.
Dominic didn't do my brand, but I was
You
like,
know,
dang, would he have came up with this before I, ooh, it was good.
thinking of brand, we are our brand. And I'm going to say ditto to what Tish said for sure. But I'm also going to say that when it comes to my brand, I want people to see my life and know that it screams self-care in all different levels, on all different realms. When it comes to my spiritual foundation, when it comes to the meaning of family to me, when it comes to the meaning of sisterhood, when it comes to work ethics, when it comes to, stake it, I want people to see self-care. And the only way they're going to see that is seeing my life.
Yeah.
I feel like self-care is such a broad brand to where we're all our own walking brand. So my life, like Tish said it, we have a contract. We literally signed a contract with God. I signed a contract with God that I was going to make sure that I legitimately take my well-being a priority, take my health and wellness a priority, and that's really all I could say, because Tish said everything for us.
I'm telling you, I just had to talk about quality. That was all she was missing.
But I want people to see me and to know that self-care is that's day.
That's it.
So, it's something that I often tell people that I work with, listen, they buy into you first.
Yes.
They trust, it's you that they want to get to know first. People are like, well, I don't, I can post what I want to post on my personal. So, well, when you go to buy something from an individual, the first thing you want to do is you go to their, you research them. You want to know what they're about. You want to know what they're doing. Are they authentic? Are they really they have to trust you first.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who you are, or you're struggling within yourself, people won't, I don't care how good quality your items or your services are. They trust, they buy you first.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest piece too. I see a lot of branding coaches out right now, and a lot of people have different messages. A lot of people have a different curriculum, and a lot of it is cookie cutter curriculum.
Sorry.
It is. And so one thing that I've realized just in being in business is I try the experience by the experience.
Yeah.
I can't trust everyone's brand, because everybody especially with social media, you can be a success overnight, right? It just, I got followers. So now if I have, 14,000 followers, which a lot of people buy, then, this looks like I can follow this person. But if you really look at their engagement, it is very low. So there are people with 15,000 followers who can barely sell a product. They can barely sell an ebook. And it's because of what's made up in that brand. So you have a brand, but your brand consists of certain things. It's not just a product. It's not just your personality. It's a makeup of different things that are all balled up into this thing that we call a brand. And sometimes it's trustworthy and sometimes it's not. You have coaches out here who are, selling you dreams, and you're like, but I just like them, right? So we have to be so careful when we talk about branding. Tish said it, it's integrity. What are you known for? My dad used to always say, your name is all you got. So if if you're not making a good name for yourself, then your brand is trash. You could look good all day. McDonald's, for instance, we know McDonald's by the golden arches. People love their fries, but at the end of the day, when I think about their brand, I think about all of this horrible food that I'm placing in my body. That's what I think about. So yeah, I just feel like there's so many components to building a brand, and we want to make sure that really understanding your brand's voice, your brand's identity, who you're trying to attract, all of that will come along with that brand. And I can't wait to your next question, because I have something to say about it, but I'm not going to jump the gun.
So good. This is so good. Anybody else have anything to say about the importance of a brand?
You going first.
Or is a brand important?
Child,
She going
yes.
first.
It's very important because I feel like when you are
Yes.
being your
Go to the
authentic
next
self,
person because we got something for him.
can y'all hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought my microphone had went out. When you are being your authentic self, the community is going to follow you. You're going to be able to build a community because they're going to
Yes.
trust everything you do. Because let me tell you something, service and the way you treat people is everything also. Especially when you are in the service of servicing people. Your customer service better be everything. Better be everything. I mean, the love language better be felt through. Better be felt through. Just, I don't even know how to explain it, but it
Come
has
on.
to be felt. It has to be felt. For example, when it comes to my catering business, the love has to be felt when I transfer my food to your hands. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's how it has to be felt. It has to be felt when I look at you in your eyes. You know what I mean? It has to be felt through everything, and that comes with trust also. You know, you're more than just a quantity, but you are quality to me. And when people realize their quality to you, and when you get to know your customers, your clients on a, when you get to know them, their do's, their don'ts, their likes, all of that, that's when you build your community that way. You don't have to try hard because you're just being who you are, and they're gonna come. Like it's a promise with God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tailor
It's
made.
good.
Tailor
Good.
made.
It's good. Definitely, this is so good, you guys. This is so good. And I'm sure everybody, those that are watching, are definitely getting the information because many people, again, they think, oh, I'll just get my EIN and I'll file my LLC and I'll do. Wait a minute.
Wait a
If
minute.
there's no brand identity, if there's not any selecting and identifying your demographic, if there's no vision, no mission, if there's none of that, you won't be successful. Listen, and I'll give my own personal testimony. I struggled in business. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always knew that I wanted to start my own business, but I struggled with identity, with understanding who I was. So until I did the work, until I went to God and said, God, you show me how you see me, not how I view myself. And it wasn't, when I say the businesses I went through, before I understood my call, right? So absolutely it's more than just here is a shirt or here come sit with me and let me help you. It's more than that because these people, it's just like parenting. Them kids will teach you know nothing.
Yes, they will.
And you will have to show and prove. So is it important to start out with following, or can I build as I go?
You mean with a brand?
So the new question is it important to start out with the following? Like, it's because like I don't really want to go as far as Janae said, but a lot of individuals are telling people you need to build your following, right? You got to build it, you got to have friends, you got to have followers, you got to do this. Or can you establish yourself and then get the followers after?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
You're gonna bring it all in because I feel like when I started my brand with Don't Blink, I could have easily changed my personal profile over to Don't Blink Motivation and had X amount of followers, but that wasn't authentic. The authentic me was, let me create my brand. Let me do the steps. Let me tailor make this for you to see if this is something that you want to follow. And then you're going to follow because you're going to say, hey, I don't want you to follow because you're supporting me or you're like, oh, this is Papa, I got to follow this. I want you to follow this because it's something that you see yourself wearing, you see yourself doing, you see yourself drinking. And then you know what I'm saying? And then as the feedback, as what the testimonies go on, then that becomes something that, the attrition, more things that people come to. I see all too often when somebody starts a page or something, they have like 14,000 followers and that was their personal page. I'm like, you didn't do this right. You skipped a couple steps. That's not, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like you say, in the engagement is that you can't keep posting the same, like your personal page, like you're posting on your business page. So some things, I think you just really have to. I think if you start at level 0 and work your way up, your followers won't they fluctuate. They'll stay the same, or they'll gradually grow because these are authentic followers, and they are what looking for that authentic you and what you first put out. But
Yep.
Coffee and Biz, do your thing.
No, that was good because that was where I was going there. I feel I've seen too often where people have. I'll give you an example. So I had a client who on her personal page had it was in the thousands. It was in the, 6 figures, right? She was up there. And on her business page, she was starting from scratch, right? So she literally had nothing. And so she said, how about I do this? I switch my business name. So the current personal profile, how about I change the name to that business name, and then the new page, I make my personal. And I said, why? And so she was like, because then I'll have all my followers. And I was like, but that's not why they started following you. They followed you because they wanted a personal relationship, or they liked what you were posting personally, but they may not want what you have. And so after giving that some thought, I said, well, how about this? How about you give them the option to choose? How about you let them know on your personal page, hey, just started a business, tag that personal page and tell them to go like it if, that's something that they want. And I think that a lot of people get so fixated on the idea of supporters. But I think any business owner has to recognize, do you have fans or do you have paid clients? Which one is it? If you got fans, that's great. We can have fans all day. I mean, but if you're trying to convert them into paying clients, that may not be your ideal client avatar. That may not be who you're supposed to be working with. No, he didn't. No, he didn't, because I'm about to pick him up off the floor.
Girl.
Oh my goodness.
But in looking at, that's what I'm saying, with everything is so superficial these days. Social media makes people superficial.
Come on,
and
sis.
It's like, I know people right now who are paid. Okay, I'm talking $1 million paid, and they got a good 650 followers, but they're paid. In business, why do we run business? We run business because we want it to thrive, right? I don't want my business, my numbers to look like last year's numbers. I would hope that there would be some type of increase in my numbers. So I think that if you everything, social media, followers, all of that needs to have a plan when you're in business. You have to plan it out. Any content that I put out, y'all don't know how many times I delete posts. And then be like, no, I'm going to post that instead because this is the climate. This is what I've been seeing. Are people studying what they really want their people? Are they studying their actual clients, their potential clients? Because I know for myself, when I first launched a business, everybody and their mama was liking it. Everybody and their mama wanted to follow, right?
That's true engagement. Come on.
And then 2, there were some people who were just kind of following me, kind of curious. But after all the buzz it goes away, right? After all the celebration of this new baby that you have, there lies the real deal. And the real deal is that I've got to sell. I've got to produce. I've got to make this make sense. So forget your followers. I mean, love them, nurture the followers, have a journey that you want the followers to go through, but don't get so fixated on followers that you forget the true mission of why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's it right there. That's it.
The crazy thing is that even for me personally, when I choose to follow someone, even on Instagram, I'm very selective.
Yes.
And so I don't just follow anyone. It has to capture my attention for one reason or another. It could be something I needed at that time. Some of my choices are for humor. Some of them are for fashion. Some of them are for spiritual. So it's a variety of reasons that we choose to follow people.
Yes.
But I believe we all are saying the same thing. But who are you following? Are you following me? Because Just Coaching is Tisha. And Tisha is Just Coaching.
That's
So however you choose to be a looky-loo, it's up to you. But we have
Amen.
to be vetted in the brand. We have to be vetted
Yes.
in the quality. We have to be vetted in the service. Like, you can't, I'm not following you if you are preaching to me physical health and you're not in physical health. I'm just not doing it.
Well,
That's
all
not
right.
funny, but it's very
Come on,
true.
Bella.
It's very
I'm
true,
not.
sis.
I'm just not.
That's good.
I'm not following you just because everybody is a life coach. And the purpose of this call, we were talking about because the market is saturated, but there's no Coach Letitia.
No.
There's
There
no
is
Coach
not.
D.
Mhm.
It's just
Nope.
not, because the numbers on my head are numbered. So I am I'm wonderfully made. So there is no one else like me. And if I have 10 clients or I have 1,000 clients, my goal was to be in purpose. That's
Yes.
what I'm doing. And
Right.
so, and everything else is going to be added to me. He's going to cause men to give unto my bosom. So when I say my price is the price, that's the price.
That's the price.
That's the price.
You know, so a lot of times we just have to
That's the price.
understand, like, who are we following? Because I've read so many articles where people's lives are in danger because of their following, because of the fame. They are some severely depressed individuals because they lose privacy. They lose the
Yes.
ability to just be themselves, but then they don't even know who they are. And so in this, I would just incline us to continue to understand that being authentic is the path. That is the way, the truth, the way, and the life. I mean,
Yes.
that's it. That's it.
And can I add, I really feel like if this is so good, I don't look at the followers. I look at the money that hits my account. That's it. I don't look at the followers. You know, my page is for awareness. My page is for awareness.
Do it, Sid.
But
Seriously.
but let me tell you something. What comes my way is word of mouth. And that word of
Yes.
mouth is way more it's priceless. It's priceless. And I've always looked at social media that way. And let me also add, I do not follow someone that's going to dehydrate me by just looking at their post. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it
All right.
because there's quite a bit of post that that can trigger me with my emotions. And I'm just not going to do it at this stage of my life. You know, if me following you is not going to add value to my mind, is not going to add value to my joy, then I'm not going to follow you. And I pray that when people follow me, they do the same.
Mm.
That's my prayer. But when it comes to the service and what I provide, I really, truly, I rely on word of mouth.
Yeah.
I do. And so I just wanted to add that. I think word of mouth is everything.
Yeah.
You do.
So really being invested in how you treat people, and how you interact with them is important. But again, everything keeps tying back to you being your authentic self, you being in a good space, both mentally, spiritually, emotionally, because all of that, plays a part. Listen, I am so grateful for the collection of entrepreneurs on tonight's live. Like, you guys are absolutely amazing. And I know those of you that know me know I say that all the time. Amazing and awesome are my two favorite words. But when I tell you these questions that we're addressing were just only, like I said, they weren't the Bible. They were just very surface questions to get you to talk about your brands, to get you to, people to get to know you. Because again, I am a firm believer. I don't care what I'm trying to sell you. If you don't trust me as an individual, you're not going to look at my business. So yes, now this is a very, very, the next question that I want to talk to you about. I say this all the time, and those that have sat with me will know that this is a huge part of our conversation, your conduct. Presence on social media. Can I say or do whatever I want as a business owner?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Tish, you want to go first?
Listen.
Your conduct.
Listen, come on. Come on. So
Yeah.
I believe in alignment. You have to be aligned. You have some people that are they're very stern, they're very firm, and there's no ha. I like to laugh, and I believe that laughter is medicine and it is healing for the soul. So I bring a portion of my personality to all things, but at the same time, I do avoid certain situations because I believe, just like text messages, they could lose, you know, they could lose the vibe. It could be off. I'm not really sure about your tone. And one thing that I won't do in person and or on social media is I'm not arguing with you, and we're not going to go back and forth about your point of view, because I believe that everybody's perception is their reality, and we have to let people sit with that. And we have to understand that there are times that we can depart from the disagreement or the discussion. We don't have to necessarily depart from each other. So I just find that I stay away from certain subjects because they're loaded and they come with a lot of emotion. And I'm not here to trigger anyone. I'm here to elevate and to empower. And so that is where I am posting, whether that be from Tisha, whether that be from Just Coaching. And I definitely take into account the insights of what, future clients, current clients, and people that are following me, like, what is it that's helping you? And so those are the things that help guide me towards what I'm posting and what I'm talking about, versus trying to trend or to obtain more followers or to be controversial. Like, that's not my goal.
So when we talk,
oh, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say. So y'all see why I told Tisha to go first.
So when we talk about conduct, because all of us, I want to be very specific when we address this question. When we talk about conduct, all of us have personal social media pages. All y'all gonna see on my personal social media probably is my kids, Jesus, and probably some about parenting or how my husband is falling asleep all the time and while I'm watching the children's. But I read someone, one of the viewers said, yes, you can be yourself. Let me find it. Yes, you can if it's your authentic self. Your conduct and your presence on social media, can you say and do whatever you want? And oh, Tamani, yes, you can if it's your authentic self. So when we get to, a lot of times I've seen individuals that have very promising or thriving businesses, but they're on social media and they're very, very
provocative.
Not so much as
there's a community for everybody.
I was gonna say there's something for everybody.
There's a community for everybody. I've seen it.
You when your demo is this, but you're on social media and you're living out a lot of your emotions, a lot of your anger, a lot of your frustration, though it very well could be your authentic self and very much authentic to what you're going through at the time. Is it really appropriate for the time? Is it really appropriate for what you're trying to do? Because again, like we all agreed earlier, people are not going to go to the all-day self-care. Initially, they want to go see what is Day like as a wife, what is she like about as a mom, what is she like as a friend, sister, right? But if we go to your social media and there are all of these explicit postings and craziness happening on your personal social media, it really takes away from whatever the weight of what you're bringing to your business, right? Yes, people are assigned to you. Yes, those that are supposed to play a part in your business and be there will be there, but you prolong things when you are not cognizant of what you're putting out on social media.
I think it depends on, I totally agree with you. I think it depends on the person's brand. And I think that it depends on where a person is in their career and how they utilize their voice. So when I'm looking at somebody like Cardi B, I expect that she's going to say something that might just be a little crazy, right? Like I expect that that's just who she is because she's built herself around that type of personality. So it kind of just depends. And then you see people who put things out there and they do it for publicity stunts.
Yeah.
Purposely put themselves out there in a certain light that may not necessarily align with where they're supposed to be going, but it's to grab attention.
Yeah.
So can you do anything you want to do to answer that question? I believe yes, but all things are lawful, right? But it doesn't mean that it's for you. And so I feel like if I were to post something on social media about my personal life that was not necessarily in a good light, I don't think that it would be wise for me to do something like that, because at the end of the day, whether we want people to do this or not, after you start showing up as the expert, after you start showing up as, you know, just in a certain light, they begin to put you up on a pedestal. And it's not something that you even want to happen all the time, but it happens. And so then if you do something outside of the norm, it will kind of shock people. And some people are going to roll with it. Like, see, I like her. It's just, let's give a really good example. Kirk Franklin, when he cussed his son out. Now,
we was all able, well, I was able to kind of relate because I'm a parent.
Listen, I'm glad my mic ain't always on.
I didn't look at him sideways at all.
But there were some people who did, right? And so we know that Kirk Franklin might have a great character.
That's
we know that he is, we know that God has blessed his life and all of those things. We know that he produces music that people have been saved by, right? So we understand those things, but we also understood his humanity. And we saw that, okay, you having a little moment there. Your son probably pissed you off a little bit. All right. Yeah, we're going to go on and give him a pass, because behind closed doors, all of us have probably done the same, right? But then there were others who were like, nah, bro, you can't.
Or being cussed out, right.
You right, exactly. There were other people who just didn't roll with him, and they were like, I'm not following him anymore. I'm good. But I feel like he gained more followers than he did not, because he was, and the thing is, he didn't intentionally do that. So we understand that, you know.
He showed his human side.
But he showed his human side, and because of it, I think that's why people roll with it. So I think it's like subjective. It's kind of, it depends.
And can I bring 2 points also? I'm going to give 2 examples with my catering company. With
because just to attach. Oh, go.
Oh no, you're fine. I think there's a delay. I'm sorry. What I was saying was, if you go to my catering page at Steak It, and you see all these pictures that I'm posting of food, but then one day I post, I'm bashing on a customer. Okay. I'm telling y'all how a customer then pissed me off, and I'm pretty much, displaying my anger toward a customer, right? That is not going to rub folks the right way. Don't nobody want to see that. That's one example, right? Another example is, if I'm all about self-care, right? No one's going to want to see me in the streets all the time, out all night. Or, no one's going to want to see me, just really not taking care of myself, right. Always upset and angry, and just, that's not displaying. Think about what is our mission. And my mission with self-care is going to, if I really have that mission of self-care, it's going to display through my life. It's going to display through my life. And if my mission with Steak It is to really serve the community, it's going to show. It's not going to show that I'm bashing on somebody when they get me upset.
Yeah.
And so I really think that it really matters also what you allow displayed on your social media. Yeah. I think it does matter when it comes to the points that I gave. I know that for a fact, because I know the mission behind what I'm doing.
Yeah. There's a consequence, I think, for whatever we do. Whatever we post, there's a consequence, whether that consequence is good or bad. I feel like there's always something that comes after. And if you think about it, what is the consequence when we post something that people like? They like it, they love it. Or now they have an angry face, so they might hate it, but or people comment. So yeah, I feel like there's just always something that will come after whatever decision we decide to make when it comes to posting.
I think
Amen.
I really want to deal with this comment from Tamani. She says people will not agree with how you present yourself, but still follow you because they are interested in seeing what you'll do. See that
Amen.
one of you guys said something similar to this earlier, and I think it really ties back to what is your focus, what is your intent. Like we talked about Cardi B, so her demo and what she's trying to do is solely based around creating controversy and creating buzz because that's how she sells the different things that she's doing, right? So if you are in the business of providing, if you're a service-based business, right, in the self-help and self-care, like many of you guys are, you don't want anyone paying attention to your social media with the sole intent to see the car crash, the accident, the wreck that's happening. You want to draw their attention in a way that is productive and, like I believe Tamani said earlier, that is in purpose, right? So this is a really good point. So yeah.
I think mixed messages are things that we really need to take into account because, again, as Dave said, as life coaches, as people that come to empower, like we definitely have to present ourselves as our authentic selves. And there are things that are good for me that are not good for someone else. But at the same time, it's like you can't be of service of this, but doing this. Like, the math ain't mathing. And the
The math ain't mathing.
the math ain't mathing. And so, it definitely has to align. And yes, people will give us passes, as Janae said, with Kirk Franklin and different things of that nature. But it's one of those things that I guess I'm just in a space of say what you mean and mean what you say. I can't
That's
take
good.
you can't be wishy-washy with me at all, whether that be business or personal.
I like that.
And so I just need the math to be mathing. Like, again, as a life coach, I definitely have to continue to be progressive in my own healing. There's levels of transparency that I will reveal, but not all things. Me being a life coach and sharing my journey does not give you access to my life and my business.
That's
But
right.
I can do
That's
that
good.
if I post it. If I'm posting my business and my life, then you are open to critique. Then you are open to backlash. Then it's not just your business, sweetheart, because your relationship has now become our relationship.
Yes.
And we want to know what Craig did. Like, why y'all break up? Because you have
Because
posted,
everybody's not going to have a closed mouth.
you posted a mini-series. And now we feel as though we have a right to know.
That's it.
That's
And
real.
so a lot of times when we're moving forward, we feel these times of anxiety and anxiousness because we feel like people are trying to pry or they're making assumptions about us. But understand, we're putting some of these things out there for people to have an opinion. And so
Yes.
then we have to be the gatekeepers of that. And so, again, it's just one of those things that's a personal for me. So this is not to address anyone's specific question, but it's like the math got to math and I got to move the way I'm going to move. And what I put out there, they know that my husband's name is Todd. I have these children that eat, but anything that goes on in this household, it's not even so much of what goes in this house stays in this house, but it's more or less that I have only given you a peekaboo into my life because I want you to see that I'm a real person and I am challenged the way you're challenged and I struggle the way you struggle. And this is how we overcome. This is how we get better. And so that's what I display versus different photos or just different topics. I mean, whatever that might be. So that's just my approach to it. That's my personal approach.
Yeah.
And I just want to add, growing up or being a millennial, I should say, I think when I post funny videos on my personal page, my TikTok, then I kind of mix in. I think the base that I have, it serves a purpose to that base because you're not only going to see that, hey, Coach P has some inspirational things, but Coach P is going to make me laugh. Coach P is going to make me think. Coach P is going to make me sit back and say, And like you said, you don't want to get too controversial, because I can post a million things with Black Lives Matter, and I kind of tapped into that in the beginning because I was frustrated, right? But then you want to be like, hold on, let me hone this back, because my frustration, my frustration can trigger someone else's issue, and they just venture off. Because how many times we listen to music that makes us, be like so hyped, we ready to go, and we're like, whoa, I didn't want to feel that right now. I'm trying to worship. So the thing about it, so I think to my base, it serves a purpose. But I think once you see that funny video and you're like, well, what else is this dude doing? And then that's going to hook you, because, then you got a personality. There's some zazz there. That it's just the appeal that I have of being a millennial. But once this guy turns 30 in the next couple of months or the next month, things are going to change. Because once I was a kid, I'd done those childish things. But now, comes in the new.
All right.
So I think it's just a part of the progression of being a life coach, a leader, a motivator, a mentor, someone that that has some type of influence in the community.
Yeah. This is good. So definitely a different. We're pretty much all saying the same thing, but just in a different way, somewhat. So yes, just being cognizant, and like I think another thing for me that I really want to point out that I try to stress also when people sit with me is identifying who the individuals are that are called to you, that are supposed to be a part of your demographic, because it will help you develop your content. It'll help you I'm going to post about moms and the struggle of having a million kids, because not only is that where I am, but that's a lot of the people that I'm talking to, whether it's the god babies or the grandchildren or the actual children, right? We can all identify with that. Like I saw a video the other day, and the lady did a whole TikTok about how she showed up to the carpool drop off. The lady had listen, it's whatever's comfortable.
Yes.
It's whatever's gonna keep you warm, especially now. So it was a hoodie with a trench coat, a bun, and a coffee cup, and the coffee cup was too big to fit inside of the cup holder. So I held it in my hand as I drove down the street. Listen, you do what you need to do to get it done. So that type of content is relevant not only to the people that I'm trying to do business with, but the people that are part of my life. That it's authentically who I am. So yeah, let's deal with some of these comments. Santasha said, yes, if I am promoting self-care, self-love, but out here in the streets doing and promoting things that are not self.
Yes.
No, ma'am, no, sir. Okay. And then we have Tamani says, that's why people get emotionally screwed when they reach a certain status, just because your life is exposed and you are sufficiently transparent. No one has the right to intrude upon your whole life and space. I totally agree with all points. We all are different, and that's the beauty in community and what we do. Absolutely.
Can I add to what Santasha said too, really quick? Because what she said was really that was it right there.
Why is she not on here?
That I don't even follow people anymore if their lifestyle is hypocrisy toward their language that they're trying to portray through their hearts.
Hypocrisy.
For my camera.
Because that is what dehydrates me, because now I'm confused.
Listen.
Come on, sis.
Listen, sis.
Now I'm confused. I don't want that. I don't want that confused, because now I'm thinking, wait, I thought that day was about self-care, or I thought Santasha was about, flipping tires in the gym, but Santasha over here eating bonbons every day.
Come on now.
Like, wait a minute. So people have to understand that there's a difference between transparency and also hypocrisy.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I feel.
That's good.
That's good.
what and this is just me saying this, because I feel like there's no wrong, but I feel like we have to understand which side of the fence are we on.
Absolutely. Yes. And it's great that Coach P said, he leaning towards 30, but I'm knocking on 50. And so
woo! And you look good.
You look beautiful.
I do. Listen.
Who, me? Who, me?
Listen, I'll tell y'all about that later. But
Yes.
my vision naturally and spiritually is changing.
Mhm.
So my
That's good.
diet has to change for the health that I desire. And so, again, as Janae said, it might work for you. It is no judgment. It is none. That's your lane, walk it. In your shoes, they fit you. But at the same time, there are certain things that I just don't digest well anymore. I can't take, dairy. It doesn't work for my body anymore.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
there are things that were once for you, you no longer can intake. And
Mhm.
again, it is not judgment on any part. It's just saying that this is my level, and I'm not asking you to come to my level. I'm just saying this is where I'm at. And so therefore, that has everything to do with the company that I keep. It has everything to do with what I listen to, what I read, what I watch, where I go.
What you drink, detox.
Because
Come on,
half
sis.
the time I be like, how many
How
people
many
gonna be
people
there?
gonna be there?
And let me tell you something. I'm very selfish with my energy. I'm sorry. I'm okay with saying it. I'm okay with saying it. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you don't like me. But at
I
this
don't.
stage of my life, I
I
am
don't.
very selfish now with my energy.
I
I
don't.
am very selfish with who I choose to be in my village
Yes.
because I feel like Tish said it best. She said it best. Our days got a number on them. So why would I spend the number of my days around fraud? I don't want to
Yes.
do it.
Around
I
fraud.
don't want to do it because it spreads, because energy spreads. We tell our kids all the time, watch the company you keep.
Mhm.
I got to watch the company I keep and the company I see,
Mhm.
period.
Listen,
That's it.
listen. My sister, I see her comment. She said, "Come on, sister." She already know because I got a best friend.
Mhm.
I got a village. I got a community.
That's
And the
it.
older I get, it's not so important that I add to it, but
Yeah.
that I add to it. Does that make sense?
Woo!
I caught
Yes.
that.
Did y'all?
Yes.
Mhm.
Did,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Cause
Mhm.
I don't want you to catch it like COVID. I really don't. But it's
I ain't got
important
no more
that I
money.
add to it.
Listen,
I don't need numbers. I don't. But I do
come
need to be
on.
an addition. I do need to compliment my sis Victoria in her endeavors and things that she's doing.
Mhm.
Because quite honestly, and to keep it a buck, I'm a client and a customer of all of you on this call.
Which is true.
Yeah.
I'm a client and
Vice
I'm a customer.
versa.
And so I have expectations in that genre as well as a business owner. So I just feel like the connections that I make, because I am energy, I am the vibe, I demand that attention. Like I command, my hands to clap and to praise the Lord. But at the same time, I'm not a this, thou, and thus type of a person that loves
Yes.
God. Like
Me
my
neither. Me
relationship
neither.
is not connected to someone saying this is my denomination or things of that nature. But I me and God got our thing, and He know who He made. I am His
The
creation,
shoe her
and
shoe.
Come on
so
now.
therefore,
Come on.
I'm with
that's how I
Santasha.
roll with
Like,
God,
You
and that's
better.
how I roll with my people. And I
Come
always
on.
tell them, if somebody was to tell you that I'm quiet or I'm distant or wow, them ain't my people.
Them ain't your folks.
Nope.
Them ain't your folks.
Them is not my people.
I
And
listen.
know
I'm
it.
okay. And people have to be okay with that. And it's like, I don't know. It's a period. It's a stage of growth.
Yes,
It's a stage of growth where you understand what you want to deal with and what you don't want to deal with. And I look at people like, well, you got drama around you because maybe that's what you want to deal with.
Say it again.
I don't have drama around me because I choose to not deal with drama. I'm not drama. So if
that's
I'm
right.
not drama, I'm sure not going to be around drama.
Yes,
And that comes with everything
Mhm.
all things.
But
all
I
day.
want to say to that.
Listen, we gonna get a shirt and just say, "I am a vibe." Come
Listen,
on,
period,
oh,
period.
look, Natasha said, "I just want to throw a shoe." That's it, y'all. I am over here twisting in this seat because I just want to scream. My favorite line, which I realized last Saturday, is "Come on." That's all I want to
Come
do
on.
right now is come on. Like, this is so rich. Like, I think, yes, Tamani said this is essential. Like, It's so good, and my prayers that everybody that's listening to this, whether they're in business or thinking about going into business, is catching all of this. Like this is so this is so good. Oh, Ebony said, "You preaching, girl." You attract what you are. This is
Yeah.
good. This is good. Yeah. No drama, especially in this season. Energy vibe is relevant. Yeah, so good. So good.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, I don't know. I really don't want to pull this thing in yet. So, but I'm gonna ask this question. Because we've been dealing with authenticity already, right? The
Mhm.
importance of being authentic with your brand, with your business and your brand. What will or should set you apart? Because it is important to be set apart in both spiritually and business, right? So what will or should set you apart in business?
I want to say what should set you apart is going to be everybody's unique in their own way. We don't like Tish said, all of our hairs are numbered and they're not numbered the same. And right, so I think like honestly, what Tish offers, what Day offers, what Janae offers, what you offer, I can't offer it. I'm
Mhm.
not even going to try to.
Yes.
Right. So I think that the unique thing that comes is when you come drink my juice, you ain't gonna taste nothing else. Everybody's juice is gonna be different, but my juice has this pizzazz on. My juice has this. When you put on my apparel, somebody else may have the same exact thing, but I pray when you put my thing on, you say nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? Because the quality of what I put in it. So I think we all have our own unique way of presenting that. Because I told Day over the phone, I said, listen, you cook this food, and I had to show somebody on Instagram. I didn't even see the steak on Instagram. When the person said, oh my God, have you seen? I said, what did it look like? Because I didn't see it. And I said, let me go look at this. And I said, oh my God.
Yes.
If I would have saw this Instagram long before Tish told me who she get her food from, I'd have been like, dude, put my order in. What am I waiting on?
I told you.
She told me this, and I never looked at the Instagram. I just saw her food. I just saw her again. I'm like, parfait, okay, whatever. But then I had the parfait. I was like,
yes.
I told Dave, how do I make this? So the things that we offer, the uniqueness is what people come towards. When I heard, I've never seen Janae before the setting of the Sister Circle, I said, who is this sister? When she come in here with the book, and I didn't know who she was. You know what I'm saying? Victoria, I've never met you. And then I'm in your inbox like, girl, send me that feed. Send me that. Like, I'm trying to get fed too on Wednesday. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I think the way that we offer and how unique each and every one of us are, nobody can duplicate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll
It's
say
tailor-made.
It's true, even with the quality, like with me being the size that I am, the t-shirts they have to fit a certain way. So I wear the t-shirt every day, not because of how it feels good on my body. It has not shrunk, and it has all of the colors in it that goes with my life. And it's so funny because I went back to his post and he's like, this individual used the hashtag, I think it was mom moment or something like that. But it is true. Listen, I bought one t-shirt and then went back the following week and bought like 5 or 6 because I'm like, if this one is this quality, I want all of them. And I do. Like, I'm a t-shirt and I put this post up the other day. I'm trying to wow them with the next t-shirt and legging combo. Like, I don't know what it's gonna be. We're gonna figure it out. So, yes. Same thing with Day. Like, I don't listen. I'm not. Oh, and I want to go back and I want to say this with being authentic to your business. I took on a new business venture, but quickly realized that my lifestyle did not match what the TLC represented. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get that lifestyle together first before we get to putting that thing. And I was honest about that. I told my coach, and she's on here. Listen. We're going to continue these products, but until we get this thing in order, I don't, and even when I would post about it, listen, this is what works for me. This is how this is working. It is not consistent, but this is how this thing is going, right? And just to, go back to what I was saying about even just affirming what you guys were saying about your businesses. Hummus. Yeah. This woman made hummus. First of all, it was orange. So when I seen it, I thought, well, if I love her. There goes that trust, right? I love her. So if she made it,
it was the red pepper, sis. It was the red pepper.
But see, they don't understand. They received that at a Just Coaching event. It was orange because it's about branding, boo.
Yes.
I thought it was orange for that reason.
Yes.
For real.
And trusting the individuals. Y'all listen, my babies, y'all know, those that know me, they don't eat everything. And it wasn't even in the house 24 hours. So
that made my heart smile when you told me that too.
It was gone. So yeah, go ahead, you guys. What is what will or should set you apart? I know Coach P, he already answered it. I'm sorry, I just kind of digressed.
I think that adding on what Coach P said, we all add a piece to the love language. We all add a piece to the love language. I just continue to think about love language, right? In the service that we offer. And if we are aligned with the service that we're offering, then that's what's going to set us apart. I think for me, I just love to love on people, period. And I wanted to show through love. I wanted to show through self-care, and that's it. When people see me, I just want them to see love.
Yeah.
That's it. I just want them to see love. It ain't that I don't have bad days. It ain't that, it ain't that, none of that. It's just that it's a choice that I make every day. That when I come across everyone that I see, I'm going to make it a choice to love, as well as I'm going to be intentional with my village and make sure that I continue to check in with my village.
Yeah.
Period. Because with busy lives, it's so hard. It's so easy to be ghost. All of us. It's so easy, right? But I make it very intentional with my village. Be like, I hope you didn't think you was going anywhere. How you doing? You good?
That part.
And so because I'm intentional about it, I've created a culture to where they make sure I'm okay.
Yes.
And that's so important. And so I think that's what separates all of us. We have a uniqueness when it comes to offering a love language through our service.
Yes. I think for me, the quote that I will say is, comparison is the thief of joy. And I truly, when I say fought to be this person that I am today and that I'm evolving into, baby, your life is extra because I like me. Your love is extra because I love me.
Yes.
And I just fought too hard to be here. And so, again, we all bring something different to the table. It's kind of like Thanksgiving, where everybody has an assignment of a side, and maybe the host will make the main dish, but we all bring something together and it makes a meal. So I believe, and it's funny, Victoria posted something today, and I said, there's room at the end. There is room at the end. There is room at the table for all of us to sup and to receive from what God has put out here for us. And so I make it a point to watch my lane, because the lane that was created for me, no one is in my way but me. There is no traffic in my lane. And so I am the only one that can impede my way, not Coach P, not Janae. I am the only one. I am the boss of me.
Yes.
And so at the end of the day, I feel like what gets in our way is looking and thinking that we must be like someone else. And so shout out to all of the healers, shout out to all of the coaches, shout out to all of the self-care advisors and those that are teaching us how to love on ourselves, because as business owners, we need all of those things in order to not deplete ourselves. So then we become consumers, because that is the self-care. We're paying someone else to do the service for us because, as you said, Victoria, there is just not enough time in the day. So if Coach P is going to provide you with a shirt that makes you look good and comfortable, then boom.
You get that juice.
Go ahead and pop that collar again, Coach P. I saw it.
And we're gonna get the juice. Look, I didn't know the juice was, I'm gonna get some juices soon. But yes, ma'am.
You know what?
I'm all about the convenience of I'm all about just having a convenience of not having to do anything anymore. Because when I got them juices from Coach P, I said, this is a mess. I said, Lord, you mean to tell me I can just go ahead and get juice now like this?
Yeah.
Mhm. I
You know
said,
what?
oh, and then speaking of Janae, remember that one time I called you because I'm a testimony of not using LegalZoom ever in your life. And I went to Janae because I wanted to throw a bomb at LegalZoom because they automatically have registered me for something. And they said, wait a minute, give me your information. Send me the forms and everything. I said, Lord, is it that easy with Janae? Thank you, Lord. I said,
Yes.
thank you, Jesus.
You know what? That right there is I'm putting my business hat on right now. Okay. So when I say this, I'm saying it from a place of business. We're taught in business to do SWOT analysis,
Mhm.
where you look at your strengths, your weaknesses, and you start really you look at the opportunities and you look at the threats. And we're also taught in business planning to look at your competitive advantage. So they want you to study your competitors, but then they want you to look at your competitive advantage, meaning what sets you apart. And so oftentimes, I think where people get it twisted is they get stuck on looking at their competitors and they start comparing, like Coach Tish just said. But really, what you're supposed to be doing when you're studying the competitors is to see if there's any holes in their system so that you can offer what they're not, right? And so I think that it's
Where the money coming from?
It just keep coming. Come on. Come on, man.
and so when I'm looking at because I was sitting here like, okay, what should or what will set you apart? Well, what should set you apart, one, is whatever it is that you're offering. Like they give you the idea about the I know everybody's heard about this story. If you go on the bread aisle, there are
Mhm.
tons of bread, right? There's different types of bread. They all are wheat bread or honey wheat or whatever you prefer. It multi-grain. There's many different brands. However, everybody's going to choose what they prefer. So I might like Nature's Harvest or whatever it's called over y'all throw another one out. I'm not thinking about bread. Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
I might like them just based on when I go into the store, it always seems fresh or whatever it is. And someone might be like, girl, that's nasty. I like this one over here. But when you're looking at your competitive advantage, you've got to figure out, okay, what does this person, matter of fact, let me just bring it home and bring it into something more practical, which is me. Like I said, I used to work at LegalZoom. LegalZoom was amazing at pumping out these businesses. Okay. They had a whole system going and it was amazing. However, what they did not offer was the hand holding. People just felt like another number. So it was like, okay, they did my business. I got this great binder in the mail, but now what? They didn't get the consultation piece. They didn't know that they needed to renew every year. They're just like taking people's money. And so, I like what Tamani just said, brand the same, but it's the flavor, right? So Coffee and Biz came into the industry and no, LegalZoom may not know who I am, but I know who they are. And I know that I'm actually going to surpass them one day based on the holes in their system that they refuse to address. So what sets me apart is that I'm going to walk into what they're not. And the thing is, I don't have to try too hard to do it because it's natural, right? We were just talking about your authenticity. So it's natural for me to fill those gaps and those holes that they're not filling because that's my passion. I want to see entrepreneurs build. I want to see entrepreneurs have thriving businesses that don't close in the first 5 years. But in order to do that, it's not just the LLC, it's having systems, it's having proper customer service, it's having it's compliance. It's all of those things that I put in the mix that I offer to the client. So I feel like what sets you apart is, first things first, don't get stuck on just comparison. Like Coach Tish said, don't get stuck there, but look at what they're not doing and see if you can fill in some of those gaps to bring a different experience and a more tailored experience to whoever it is that you're trying to serve.
Amen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ebony just said it. She said, "Yep, it's all about the experience."
It is.
It's good. It's good. It's so good. So, in closing, business owners and professionals and experts in your field, what advice would you give a new entrepreneur or someone thinking about going into business? We'll
Ooh,
start with you, Coach P.
coaches.
Ooh, I would say, honestly, because if I had to talk back to me, I would say go in very, very receptive. Because if I can, and I'm not saying going receptive and kind of twist what you want to do because someone else is telling you what to do. I'm just saying take that into the pot. And then once you create what that is, try to put that out there for you people to have. Because I think for me, people catch my personality before they catch me. Because it's all, for me, it's this. So when you see me, you be like, "Ooh, what's wrong with him?" But when you catch this, you know what I'm saying, and you know that you're gonna have a coach, you're gonna have a mentor, have a motivator that's there to push you, that's there to make sure you make it, that's there just to fight with you. And I tell you just to go in knowing that, honestly, if you're trying to go in and you're trying to make money in your first year and a half or your first 2 years, don't do it right now. Sit on it for a little while because you're gonna lose money. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. Sometimes it takes you to lose in order to win. But understand, take those lessons from those losses and put that towards that process so you can win. That's what I would tell you, because I honestly think, like, if people think they're going to be an entrepreneur, they're going to win, they're going to get all this money, they're going to be rich off the bat. And sometimes it works. Sometimes that's just that 1 in a million case, right? You know, and I have testimonies of things that are happening for me in my business, but I'm not counting those as something that I've won yet because I ain't seen the money yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think, just that's what I would tell you. And then, and I would just say, just reach out for help. Don't be afraid to talk. And you ain't got to pay everybody, to get some advice. Go to that one person that you see is like in the community. I would, Victoria, Janae, I would send somebody to YouTube to say, hey, these two, they can help you. Because I can't, because you obviously are lost in the sauce, but they can get you out. But I would say look for help.
Yeah. Janae?
There's so many
Janae
things.
gonna say, just get at me.
No. I would say for anybody that is starting out in business, have someone. No, I don't want to say that. Test and measure. Test things out. Measure the success of it, but always have an anticipated outcome. I see so many people who want to do something, but they don't necessarily know what the outcome is or their desired outcomes. All they know is, I just want to make some money. But yeah, everybody can make money. There's definitely a way for you to make money, but you've got to be able to tell this business what it's going to be doing and where it's going. So you've got to be able to properly plan. And I see a lot of people who don't necessarily plan. They kind of just get started, but then there's a lot of trial and error that costs them money, time. Again, people fold. So if you don't do anything else, write down what you expect this business to produce. What is the outcome for your client? What are your monthly goals? What are your anticipated expenses? Because in the beginning, you're always going to have a loss. Most of the time, people in their first couple of years, they claim a loss. And the reason is because, one, people don't know you, so they're probably not patronizing your business. But the other time is that there was a lack of planning. And so if I can stress anything to the new entrepreneur, is to write things down, plan. Like everybody was saying today, get a village where you can bounce some things off of. It takes money to make money. I'm going to say that again. It takes money to make money. So don't be afraid to invest, but understand that if you're going to do this thing, you've really got to do it full throttle.
Yeah.
And before we go to the next two, y'all, and I want to say it's far better to be a thing than to look a thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
When you say plan, when you say do, it's far better to be that thing than to look like that thing. Because
Yes.
again, we can dress it up all day, but we ain't got nothing in the inside.
Mhm.
If the bank won't invest in you, why should we invest in you? And that should be your why.
Say it again.
If the bank won't invest in you, why should we invest in you?
Yes.
That's it.
Coach Tish.
I'm done.
I would say know your why.
Mhm.
Know why you're doing it. It has to be bigger than, again, comparison or what is trending and what's popular. And then also, I would probably bring the 3 R's that was beneficial to me. Reach out, ask questions, research. You know, again, we talked about on this platform about understanding like what it is that you're going into, because naturally I'm a coach, but I don't know the business side of it. That's not my thing. And even struggling with even understanding that my price is the price and that's just what it is, because you want to be a philanthropist, but that ain't gonna make me no money. Okay, so you got to know your why, and you got to be okay with that, right? And then resources. I would say that in the investment in all of you that are here, because when I say reach out, Coach P was the first one I reached out to about the certification. And then Day was one that was like, okay, well, became telling me, okay, well, sis, look into this and go for that, as well as the village that was around me were my resources. Like I literally did not have to go outside of my circle for anything because it was in there. Is that ragu or what is that? Prego? It's in there. It was basically in there. And so that's when you know that you're not chasing anything. It is going to overtake you.
Yes.
And this thing has overtaken me because I can't sleep sometimes because I'm so excited, or I'm heavy laden about a certain individual that I am, I'm being a coach to, and I'm, or a client or something of that nature. Like I really take this very seriously. Again, it's a mantle. So know your why.
Yes.
All day. What you got?
So for me, like Coach Tish said, it's all about the mindset. So first you got to get the mindset together, because you have to understand it's going to be a roller coaster. But before you even prepare yourself to do that roller coaster, you got to get a Victoria, you got to get a Janae.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you are going to backtrack, because things are not going to be set up properly, which is then going to make that roller coaster one of the fastest rides that you feel like you're going to fall off you ever been on, and I think once you do that, along with the village and understanding who's your targeted audience, what are you doing to make someone else's life better?
Yeah.
When it comes to what you're providing, like what type of service, like what is whatever you're offering, how is it helping someone else, and is it something that they need? That's one thing that I've realized as well.
Yes.
And it's just that simple. Once you get the beginning stages lined up with the mindset, making sure that your business is set up properly, making sure you got a Victoria who is scaring the crap out of you with making sure that your deadline is a for real deadline.
For sure. For sure. A loving bully. That's what,
Yeah.
He's a loving bully.
Yeah. Then you got Janae saying you don't want the IRS behind you now,
Okay.
But just knowing that, are you in it for the long run? Are you in it because is it cool? Or are you really in it because this is something that you really want to do? Because if it is truly your passion, then you're going to be in it for the long run. And then you're going to provide yourself with a village that's going to continue to help push you forward. But none of that matters if you're not a good listener at all.
That's good.
That's it.
If you are not a good listener, hang it all up. If you know everything and somebody then gave you the recipe, but you can't put it together, forget it.
Let it go.
Always remain teachable.
Yes.
That's it.
When a teacher stops being a teacher, she is no longer a teacher.
Listen,
Off the head.
They said the ones that know everything are already sitting next to the Lord anyway.
With a straight face, really? You just gonna say it with a straight face?
If you still here, you still got some learning to do.
That
listen.
part.
It is tonight has been phenomenal. I was trying to find another word other than amazing. Listen, when I tell you that even what me figuring out, and I shared this the other day on a call with Janae, even me figuring out what I was supposed to do, because I was so apprehensive about stepping into what I was naturally good at, my natural ability. And it took a village. It took I believe she's still on the live. It took Ebony and a couple other people repeatedly saying to me, you should do this. You're doing it already. And I was at one point, it was like, listen, you need to charge folks for what you're doing.
Mhm.
But really, but I think confidence is important.
Mhm.
Confidence is so important, and trusting yourself, and here's the thing. There was something that we say things all the time. I don't think that we're aware of how massive it looks like to other people. Like we talked about having the right village. We talked about having a really good support system. And one of these, I said this to Tish one time, and she said that they would have their accountability meetings and their accountability groups. And I asked her one time, what does that look like? Like, what does that look like for someone that is trying to either establish that and cultivate that? How do you do that? What is it? How do you get a good village? How do you get that team of people around you that sound? And I'll let you guys answer that. But one thing I wanted to say is that doesn't come until you're in a good space, until you're where you're supposed to be. Because the people, the group of you that are here, our past didn't cross until it was time, until God, until I did what I was supposed to do, and God said, okay, now it's time.
Yes.
So I think that's important too. So yeah, I'll let you guys talk about what that looks like, because I know for someone like me, I have to be able to see it. Yeah, that's yeah. I have to be able to see it in order to even grasp it. I have to understand it. So for some people hearing, you have to have a good village, you have to have a team. How do you do that?
Self-accountability.
When you stop wanting to be law.
Yeah.
Self-accountability. You have to become the change you want to see. Again, I have to be able to be a good friend and show myself friendly if I want friends in my life. And so being a part of the village comes with responsibility and accountability and being consistent. And that, to me, are the keys, the principles, in order to create the village that will attract and provide you, again, the resources that you need at your fingertips. Because yes, the grind is real, but I don't believe that God wants it to be hard. I do not believe that passion is hard. I won't accept that. I just won't.
And I think one thing is when you say, how did the accountability group or session or whatever that is, the meetings happen, I think they don't happen quickly, because if they happen quickly, it won't last.
Yeah.
I think that over time, even though Tish is my big sister, I just didn't automatically assume she was going to be or a person that's going to hold me accountable. Me and Day didn't come in contact, and you know what I'm saying? The relationship is developing. Day calls me friend. I call her sis. You get what I'm saying? So until Day calls me bro, I know there's going to be some a step up in that relationship. To
You are my bro. Wait a minute now.
But get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? There's an elevation in that relationship when it becomes comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm developing a relationship with you, Victoria. Janae, we on our way because you're a little bit busy. I got to talk to your assistant first. But you know what I'm saying? It's a thing that if it comes quickly, that's not the group. But it's something that's developed over time.
Yeah.
And outside of this circle, I become the accountability coach for so many others. You get what I'm saying? And in those circles, they also hold me accountable. They don't even know this, but they hold me accountable because what I preach to them is what I also have to do myself.
To live by. Absolutely.
Yeah, I learned recently, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine that, like, for me personally, even in business, if it doesn't feel safe, then I'm not in it, you know.
That's
And if
good.
it's a lot of confusion, I don't. But I didn't know that going in. I just assumed, oh, this seems like it's right, you know. Let's go ahead and then you wind up wasting a lot of time in a
Right.
situation, you know, that wasn't necessarily you didn't necessarily you weren't supposed to be in right at that time, you know. But everything is purposeful. Nothing will be wasted, right? But at the same time, you need to be intentional about the moves that you're making. So this is good, you guys. I am beyond
Oh,
grateful.
they gonna
Can I
say something.
can I
She gonna
tap
get
Oh,
it.
in
I'm
on that
sorry.
really
Yes.
quick,
She
really
go.
quick, while it's on my spirit? Y'all know when Moses' people was in the desert for 40 years,
Mhm.
you know, he got them out of bondage, but bondage was still in their mind.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it was 40 years that they were all leading each other. It was the blind leading the blind. So I think that when your eyes are really open and when you really want accountability, God is going to present that to you, but you're only going to see it if your eyes are open.
Come
Yes.
You're
on.
only going to see it because I'm just at a point in my life where it's not that difficult if your eyes is really open and it's really what you want.
Mhm.
You know how,
Come
like
on.
Fitz said, people say it's hard to find good friends. It is
It
if your
is.
eyes are closed.
Right.
You know, it's what is it in someone that you're looking for? And like Tish said, are you being that same person?
Yes.
Are you being that same person? So I don't want to. I made it a choice. I'm not going to be in the desert for 40 years when all I got to do is cross over that road real quick.
Hmm.
Mm.
When you
I'm
open
not
your
going to do.
eyes.
I'm not going to, you know, go through all of this and not be able to see the promised land. I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
That's good.
I'm not going to do that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I just think if your eyes are really open for a village of accountability, it's going to come to you for sure. You're going
Yeah.
to see it. You know, when I was ready for growth, when I was ready for change, that was when I swear it was, and I'm sure the same. It's been flooding in
Yeah.
Yes.
because I know what I want for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I just
It's
wanted to
it's
share that.
That's good.
it's so good. It's so good. And I agree. I think that, no longer am I looking, you don't have to, there are certain things that you don't have to look for.
Mhm.
You should just let those things come to you because what's meant for you will, those things will come to you if it's for you. So this is good. I want to thank you all for your time. Listen, this thing has almost been 2 hours, but it was nothing but good stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. I am going to make sure I tag all of your business and contact information in the live after it's posted. You guys are truly a gift to so many. You're a gift. Just listening to
This is
you.
amazing.
You're a gift to the kingdom. I know Jonay and I, we talked a lot about, well, all of us outside of you, Coach P. And listen, I'm trying to give you a moment, before I kind of, as they say, bully you. There's so many things that, I see within you that I really want to share with you, but we'll do that on a different time in a different,
Oh, get ready.
um,
Me?
but just,
With
yeah,
me?
yeah.
Oh,
So, just, thank you guys again for your time. Tamani, Ebony, Santasha, all of you guys that have chimed in and gave your comments and your expertise. Listen, Tamani is giving us all kind of stuff in the comments. And I
Yes.
was trying to add all of those things into the live. But just amazing individuals. And I pray that God continues to elevate you, continues to give you favor and enlarge your territory. That is my prayer for all of you. So thank you for your time. Thank you for those that viewed and for those that will view after this. I pray that something was said that will help you and encourage you to do more, to be more, to continue to be great. Thank you guys. You guys take
Thank
care.
you.
This was everything. Thank you.
Yes. Bye,
Thank
y'all.
you.
awesome.